Okay, got it. Record on this computer. Try this one. Got it. Got it. Record.
Oh, do I have to mute now again? Mute and unmute?
No,
No?
no.
Okay.
Nope. 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 Oh, okay, I think we're going here. Looks like it anyway. And we got everybody but me on the, oh, I got it on Facebook. So it's picking me up on Facebook. It's just not picking me up on this computer for some reason.
Mm,
That is so strange.
it is very strange.
Okay, well, we'll just let this go. We'll let this go. Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Roger Paul, and tonight we are going to continue our study on paper 107. Let me see if I can move this one over here to it. Yeah, that's better. And let me stop the share for just a second. I'm myself here. Myself. We can go back to share screen again. Here we go. Okay. I think everyone can hear me. Do y'all hear me out there?
Loud and clear.
Yeah, I can.
Only trouble is now it's not letting anybody else's video come in on my Macintosh. Just mine. Well, I got the regular Windows base on over here too, so we'll just use it for tonight. Okay, adjuster mindedness. Now I'm hearing myself. Go ahead and read, and then after you're done, unmute yourself.
So you want me to?
No, go ahead, read first.
Okay. 5, adjuster mindedness. Evolutionary mortals are prone to look upon mind as a cosmic meditation between spirit,
Mediation.
mediation between spirit and matter. For that is indeed the principal ministry of mind is discernible by you. Hence, it is quite difficult for humans to perceive that thought adjusters have minds, for adjusters are fragmentations of God on an absolute level of reality, which is not only pre-personal, but also prior to all energy and spirit divergence. On a monistic level, antecedent to energy and spirit differentiation, there could be no mediating function of mind, for there are no divergences to be mediated. Why did that?
Okay.
Sorry.
Mute yourself there and let me see if I've got 6 of you going on in my head.
So it sounds like it's all right to talk to myself.
Yeah, that's what it's doing with everybody.
Only in certain places, Rodney, only in certain places.
Let me unshare the video again. Let me see if I can stop this. I'm not sure what to adjust here.
Roger,
Yes, dear.
are you worried about Facebook?
No, Facebook is going. Facebook is going.
What's the problem? What
I'm
are you?
I'm getting 6 of me in my headphones.
Oh.
You have a solution for that, Jenny?
Do you need the headphones?
Yeah, if I can, y'all want to hear me, if I want to hear y'all.
Oh,
Yeah, if y'all want to hear me.
Yeah, that's why we're here.
Test 1, 2, 3 test. Let me try another set of yeah, it's just like everything's going crazy. Okay, I got my mic back. Do y'all hear me okay?
Now we do.
No reverberation.
Nope.
I've still got, are you still muted, dear?
She is.
Yeah, she's still muted.
Maybe I shouldn't mute.
Try muting, Rodney, see if that's it. No, it's something totally different.
Sounds like I need to perhaps show up early next time we meet. So you have, you know, you
Yeah,
can.
I get it. I'm getting like a 3-second delay on everything.
Interesting.
sorry about that.
I know, it's just crazy. Okay, let me see what I can do here. Let me give up stream. Let me see if I can reclaim the host over on my Windows-based machine. Sorry, y'all.
Hey, it's fine.
Reclaim host. Okay. See if this works. Take these out, put a different pair in. Let them kick on, and we might be in business, as they say. Sorry, all y'all at home for all these technical issues. I thought I had all this worked out. Apparently I didn't. Okay, I'm gonna have to reassociate my earphones here.
Is it the air conditioning, Tony? Does it have anything to do with it?
I don't know, dear.
Because it comes on and off
Okay, I
frequently.
got the Logitech Brio on. Test 1, 2, 3. Let me switch over to the headsets. Test 1, 2. Test 1, 2, 3. Well, I got
4, 5,
myself.
6.
Huh?
4, 5, 6.
Y'all got me back?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I gotta reverb, but I is it? Do y'all hear me twice?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let me see if I can stop that.
No, I don't.
How about now?
No, it's good.
Okay. Had to disconnect. Is there? That's okay. This is crazy with this one. Yeah. Do y'all see the y'all don't see the, do you still see the share? You don't see the share.
No, sir.
Oh, let me go over here and see if I can
Okay, it's there.
oh, y'all. There's no easy way to. I don't know, dear. I don't know. Oh, I don't know. Okay, it looks like we're back up in business. I'm on the Windows-based machine again. The blue light? Yeah, that's the slide. Let me get rid of this too. Here. Okay, I'm going to just stay live on. I don't know if it's disconnected. We're going to lose all the recording. Here, give me a second. No, I'm wasting the whole night. You can't get the bar to come back. Won't let me stop it. Okay, let me try it over. This thing's just completely crashed. No, this has never happened before. Okay, got that back anyway. Let's see if I can share this screen again. My host. Well, y'all, I don't know. Y'all seeing the slides back now?
Yeah, very, very well.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
My Macintosh experience is just about ended. Let's see if we can go on. We only lost 15 minutes of it. And I'm not even showing a video online. But that's okay. We'll see how it comes out on the video. Sorry, y'all. Am I moving on the video for y'all?
Yes.
All right, let me hit leave. Okay. That one stopped recording. Let me see if I can get my thing back up here again. Yes, 1, 2, 3. We still have sound. We have no picture. Yes, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Y'all see me at all?
Yeah. Yes.
Well, I'm not coming up here at all. Huh? No, that wouldn't have anything to do with. I got everybody else. I got Gary. I got Rodney. I got Jane. I got you. Why would I not have a video?
You got Jane?
Yeah, I got Jane. I got everybody but me. We're going to teach a class with no pictures. Yeah. Doesn't look like it. Y'all, I hate to say this, but I think our meeting is
Well, we can, or I can stay online and let you test your equipment till you figure it out.
yeah. Let me see if I can. Oh, this is just going everywhere. It's just, you see my
I-
picture? Y'all see my picture?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it all looks normal.
Matter of fact, this is probably the best lineup you've had because prior to this, you've been duplicated, but this time I only see you
Yeah, there's
once.
just one of you.
Okay, well, let's just try to go on, and we'll see how the video comes out. Do this one again. Y'all want to do that?
What's that?
You, brother.
Huh?
It's up to you.
Roger, unfortunately, the problem is all at your end. Here, it's absolutely perfect.
It's in this equipment. I don't know what's going on. The Macintosh tried to take over everything, then it stopped working, then it came back on again, then it stopped working. So I'm not sure what is going on here. It stopped the video recording on this one. Trouble is, this is all going out live on Facebook right now, I assume. So let me go over here and see if I've got Facebook up on something so I can see. Yeah, it's still going, and it's got me live.
That's good. I think I think you've done it. You just don't realize it.
Okay, well, I'm
Just
gonna
say
leave
it's
my Facebook
remarkable.
up live. Yeah. Well, I can't see myself, so if I start looking ridiculously stupid, y'all stop me. Somebody stop me! Okay, let's keep going. Let's see, Gary. I think you're up next. Would you
I think so.
No. Let's go back here. I didn't even comment on the last slide. I was busy working on the other thing.
Yeah.
Adjuster mindedness. Diane, would you read that for me?
Evolutionary.
You're muted.
You?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
5, adjuster mindedness. Evolutionary mortals are prone to look upon mind as a cosmic mediation between spirit and matter, for that is indeed the principal ministry of mind as discernible by you. Hence, it is quite difficult for humans to perceive that thought adjusters have minds, for adjusters are fragmentations of God on an absolute level of reality, which is not only pre-personal, but also prior to all energy and spirit divergence. On a monistic level, antecedent to energy and spirit differentiation, there could be no mediating function of mind, for there are no divergencies to be mediated.
And
That last
this is
sentence,
trying to,
Mystic.
what was that?
the last sentence is too. I don't know the meanings to all those words.
Okay, I'm gonna explain it. To you.
Monistic.
What was that, Gary?
I'm looking up one of the words, monistic.
Singular, singular level of antecedent. In other words, it's before. It's a single level before energy and spirit. Okay, so you got to think of it this way: before you think of God as energy or God of spirit, this level was already there. The absolute level of divinity was already there before God fragmented himself to make the adjustments. Does that make sense?
Yeah, Roger,
So
you're not coming in the clearest, but I have a question. Obviously, it's saying that adjusters have a mind of their own.
that's correct. Yeah, that's
But-
that's the point of this. Yeah, it's saying that adjusters have their own mind from the beginning, but it's the mind of God the Father,
Correct.
which is different than our mind. Okay, so think of it this way. The mind of God the Father is always connected back to God the Father.
Correct.
Still with me?
Yep.
So since it's the mind of the God the Father, it does not go over the mind circuit.
Oh,
With me. Okay,
okay.
so since it doesn't go over the mind circuit, there's no mediation between spirit and matter for the thought adjuster. That's the whole point you're making. So the thought adjuster itself is totally connected to God the Father all the time.
So
It can't disconnect
it's
itself.
like an extension of the Father.
It is an extension of the Father. It's part of God the Father. That's why they call it fragmentation. Okay. And that's what it literally is. It's a fragmentation of God himself. And it says here on the absolute level of reality. Okay. So it's not pre-personal but it's also prior to energy and spirit divergence. What are they talking about there? Before a human being can become a human being, first it has to have instilled in it energy, which is the material form, right? All material things are energy, and spirit, which is all spiritual form, which comes from who? The second person of the Trinity, which is the infinite sign, okay? The eternal sign, okay? So that everything about the thought adjuster is a fragmentation of God on the absolute level before God the Father gives us personality and before the energies instilled in us to make us a human or any kind of being, and before we're given that spirit spark that creates soul. All right. So all these things about the thought adjuster are there ahead of time. Does that make sense? So when these thought adjusters start out, they're a part of God on an absolute level. They're always a part of God. But when they get instilled in human beings, what are they then? They're still a part of God. Nothing changes. Okay. The only difference is that thought adjuster becomes permanently attached to that being until that being either makes a decision not to survive, or what else can happen? They rebel and their life force is taken away.
So either
Okay.
one of us would be consciously to make a decision
A conscious,
and consciously to rebel.
that's right, to not go with God's will. Okay. And you can see why this is set up this way. That's why they said there's no mediation, no mediating function of the mind, because there's no divergence of God to be mediated. Okay, so you either accept God or you don't. That's just the way it is. So if you make a conscious decision not to survive, what are you doing? You're cutting yourself off from God the Father, literally. Okay. And upon that point, when you make that final decision to cut yourself off from God the Father, what do you become? You become the walking dead. And at that point, what can happen? The thought about adjuster could be released from you to go on to someone else, because there's no possibility of you ever refusing.
So, Roger, I have a question. Another one. Say, it's my understanding that most of the people that live in North Korea don't, I think they look to their ruler as God. I think he demands it.
Mhm.
How, although surely they have thought adjusters within them,
Right.
how can they follow the adjuster with that over their heads?
Well, literally, they can't, Rodney. It's impossible. Okay. You can't have a dual mind. There was a book written back in the 70s called A Dual Mind. And that's when you try to live one way and you believe something totally different. You with me? That's what you call a dual mind. You're not of a single mind. And that's a perfect example of that. Now, just because some stupid ruler declared himself God and requires all his subjects to treat him as God does not mean that in the consciousness of those believers that they believe he is. You follow me?
Right.
They can make their own choosing about that. No one can force you to believe in anything whatsoever. So as long as that's the case, as long as no one can force you to believe in anything whatsoever, then you have the choice to believe in whatever you want. They can just lie to him all they want to massage his ego to make him think he's got everybody convinced he is God. Till they're released from that society. Same thing happened in where? Rome, right? With Caesar, right? He declared himself God. But the Senate and all the people that ran the country didn't believe he was God in the place. They gave him homage like he was God, but none of them really believed it. Okay, so that's what they're talking about. Now, the fact that God Himself is not when they talk about the monistic level, acceding to energy and spirit, that means God as a whole. Okay, even fragmented, God is a whole. He's never anything but that. That's why he goes through everything physical, everything spiritual, everything that is, God is there. All right. So this monistic level of being of God is there before, is there after, and will remain there all the way through all 6 levels of our going up to the mansion world. And when we're hit the 7th level with the experience of the Supreme, it will still be there. Okay. But the point of this, one of the points of this paragraph that's very important is the fact that the thought adjuster itself has its own mind, right? You have your own mind. We're part of the mind circuit, but God the Father has his own mind, and never the two shall come together until fusion. You with me?
Yes.
So just because you something in your mind that you should do something and you think it's from God does not necessarily mean what? That it is from God. Okay? And that's that communication with God. That's what they call a thought adjusters. It changes your thoughts to spiritual concepts. Okay? But that does not mean that you have to 100% accept those spiritual concepts. Does that make sense? Right. Yeah, go ahead, Gary.
How can you reconcile the thought adjuster having his own mind when he's a direct connection between us and God, and he's more like an advisor for us? Could he be something like, here's God's word, and let me explain it to you?
No, Gary, it's more along this line. When the thought adjuster leaves divinity, from that moment on, when he inhabits the very first being, whether it's going to be a survival type being or not, from that moment on, he is gaining experience. Okay. And because of that experience, he has a mind of God and yet an experiential mind different from just God. Does that make sense? So you can think of it this way. God's mind has the mind of God the Father, the original Father. But with the experience the adjuster gains, he develops an experiential mind of the adjuster itself that is still part of God, but it's separate in the sense that it has the experiential part, even though God absorbs all this experience too. That's what goes to the Supreme. And it kind of gives you an idea of why the Supreme develops into a whole separate being that will be in charge of all seven super universes, if you think about this. Because the God, the Supreme, will be the last word of experience, all the experience of all the beings and all seven super universes, right? So the God of experience will be a little tweak different than God the Father. So what's that mean? That means God the Father is creating a divinity being to assume the role of some of the responsibilities that he handles by himself, right? Does that make sense? It's kind of like Jesus creating Gabriel. Think of it that way. Jesus created Gabriel as chief executive of our local universe, didn't he? Why did he do that? It takes some of the responsibility off of Jesus or Michael, right? God's doing the same thing in the way that he's created the Supreme to take away some of the responsibility that he has to take care of in the seven super universes. Now, when he steps out and goes out into the outer space levels, it's a whole new ball game. Okay?
Roger, you're saying the Father created the Supreme Being, but I don't think that's the right word, is it?
Well, it's eventuated.
Yeah, eventuated.
Yeah, he didn't really create the Supreme Being. He eventuated the Supreme Being, and that eventuation is going on right now because we know that the Supreme is not in full fruition, right? So we're literally living in the eventuation of the Supreme that may take billions of years, but that's what's happening. Okay. And there's no big rush.
eventually.
We got all the time in the. All right. All right. I think is Rodney or Gary up? Did Rodney did you just
I,
read, Rodney?
I
I
haven't,
just, I just read, I think it's Rodney.
Okay, Rodney, you're up.
okay. Since adjusters can plan, work, and love, they must have powers of selfhood, which are commensurate with mind. I think I pronounced that right. They are possessed of unlimited ability to communicate with each other. That is, all forms of monitor above the first or virgin groups. As to the nature and purport of their intercommunications, we can reveal very little, for we do not know. And we further know that they must be minded in some manner, else they can never be personalized.
Okay. Now this is kind of mind twist for you here. It's hard to comprehend this because it's so difficult. It's not only difficult to comprehend, it's difficult to explain. But we know that the thought adjusters are part of God the Father, don't we? And we know once they leave Divinington, they have their own individual experiential mind. Okay. So when they gain that first experiential mind and they develop that in their when they're virgin adjustments, okay. So after they finish their first time being part of a being and they come back as non-virgin adjusters, they're able to intercommunicate with other non-virgin adjusters. Okay, so they give us the impression that in their first time out as first or virgin adjusters, they do not have that ability. They can communicate with God the Father, but they can't really communicate with each other because they're fragments of God. But when they go out for their first real assignment in a being that they can fuse with, at that point, they can communicate with other monitors, the other adjusters. We know this because of why? We know this because of the revelation of the book, when the book was revealed to them. Because what happened? A self-acting adjuster communicated the information of the book, was used for communication of the information of the book through an individual, one person, okay? That adjuster. But many, many, many types of beings use that adjuster to reveal the information of the book. That's why we have so many different authors of the book. Makes sense? So without that adjuster, we could never have gotten this revelation. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me throw another monkey wrench. All these groups that are from churches that believe that they have had these revelations from angels and all sorts of other things. What does that mean about that? It puts doubt in your mind about it, doesn't it? Because we know how difficult it is for these celestial beings to communicate with the human mind. And we know they can only do it through two agencies normally. And that's what? The guardian angels and whom else? The midwayers, the secondary midwayers. Okay? So if someone comes along and tells you that I saw an angel and he gave me this message that I should write a book, and this is what the book should say, what should you say? I have doubt.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can't say you're wrong, but you could say, I have doubts. not the way that we've been taught that it happens, right? All right. And I don't know if I should mention this or not, but I guess I have the right to do so. But when I was 12 years old and I was a Mormon, I believed, read the Doctrine and Covenants, read the Book of Mormon, all the stories about all the humans that were on this area of the world, the United States. And all this information came through Joseph Smith. Okay. Joseph Smith supposedly saw an angel and told him where these golden tablets, and it had writing on them that no one could interpret. Okay. Joseph Smith was barely able to read English. Okay. People don't know that. So he went behind this curtain, and a scribe wrote down everything he said from behind the curtain, which he said he had these golden tablets. Two things I have issue with this. Number one, does gold mean anything to God the Father?
No.
It's material.
It's just another metal. Material. It's metal. It could have been written on a goat's skin. It wouldn't have mattered if it's a revelation. You see what I'm saying? And yet they put it on these golden tablets. All right. Then a man went behind the screen and interpreted this, and this is where you got the Book of Mormon from.
That's weird.
And then, well, it's weird that it didn't stop there. When he was done, they went and buried him, the tablets, and no one could ever find the tablets again. So you couldn't verify it in any way, shape, or fashion. Now, I can tell you, having been a Mormon as a child, there are many, many, many good things in the Doctrine and Covenants and the Book of Mormon. The issue I have is with Joseph Smith himself, right? So I just want to mention that. It's different than the Urantia Book. And it's interesting because in the Book of Mormon, it says this. It says in the future, there will be another revelation to expand on this revelation that's much more revealing than this one was. So what would fit right into that? The Urantia Book. So it brings up a bunch of interesting questions, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It really does.
Could the
So anyway,
Mormon
could
the Mormon doctrine be a precursor to this one?
Could very well be. Could very well be.
And if Smith was not the world's best person, I don't know if that's relevant.
Yeah.
I don't know if it is either, Gary. The other thing is the way it came about, even though it was so strange, who are we to say the way God works? But we know that normally angels don't communicate with humans on any regular basis, do they? If you see an angel appear before you, you've been blessed beyond belief. But we also know that the midwayers down through history have appeared to beings all the way down through history for spiritual things, don't we? And what's the midwayer's job? To advance spirituality on this planet, right? Help us reach light and life. Okay.
So, Roger,
Yeah.
getting back to the thought adjuster, because it's got a mind of its own, it is the
Yeah.
Father's mind. The Father's mind is so perfect and on a different dimension that I would find it very difficult for the thought adjuster to communicate with a primitive mind like we have. How could it? It'd be very
Well,
difficult.
that's why it is very difficult, Rodney, and that's why they send them out the virgin adjusters out to beings that have little chance of survival.
Understand that.
Okay. They get to practice, okay, on beings they don't really think will have much chance. Oh, now some of them do, but very few of them, right? And when they do survive, they can't actually fuse with the adjuster, can they? They have to. I just got disconnected from this. No. Are y'all still out there?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay. I'm reconnected then.
So what you're
Uh,
saying is maybe they send the virgin thought adjusters to areas like North Korea.
well, no, to
No,
primitive planets.
it would be primitive. It would be very early man, Gary. These would be the beings that were on the planet before the Calagasta 100. This would be the
Cavemen.
pre-planetary prince beings. Okay, because these are their whole life is about getting food, making more babies, and that's about it. Survival. That's all they think about. Okay. So they have to progress a little bit and start to get these concepts of God the Father. And the first one of these beings that did that on our planet was whom?
Andon and Fonta, right?
Andon and Fonta. That's
Did
right.
they receive a thought adjuster? I can't
They
remember.
both received, yeah, they both received thought adjustments. And what was the decision they made to get a thought adjuster? Now, this is even stranger. The decision they made to get a thought adjuster wasn't to start worshiping God, was it? It was to leave their tribe, their pack, and go out on their own. So they made a moral decision to improve themselves, both him and his mate, right? So that was the moral decision they made get a thought adjuster, and both of them got thought adjusters. Now, shortly after that, they came with the concepts of a force greater than themselves. Shortly after that, but that's not what brought the thought adjuster. The thought adjuster came because they made the decision to separate themselves from the tribe. So what did that show? They were making a independent decision to better themselves. Makes sense. And that fits right in with the virgin thought adjustment. So the first 500,000 years when we had human beings that were barely human beings on this planet, the first 500,000 years until the Calagasta 100 appeared with Calagasta, then all those beings got virgin adjustment. Then after the Calagasta 100 came, the thought adjusters that started coming were experience adjusters. Makes so your question, Gary, even though we think of people that would support the concept of some human being being a god, even though we think that's about as barbaric as you can be, those people still have thought adjusters. You follow
Have
me?
what? Some.
They still have thought adjusters.
Yeah, I was just thinking they would be, in those circumstances, it'd be useful to send out a virgin thought adjuster because the person's survival rate as to accepting God,
Slow. Yeah.
it'd be remote.
Well, Gary, the difference is this: the North Koreans, before the current leadership, communists, before that, they were a very religious group in that country before they separated the country. And they were mostly Buddhist, but they were still religious. Okay, so they had a concept of a spiritual head. That's the point I'm making. So that still puts them above the barbarian. Okay, so that's why they would get a virgin, not get a virgin. They say in the book there are no virgin adjusters on this planet anymore. Okay. Because we've all gotten to that point where we're ready for adjusters because the spirit of truth 2,000 years ago. But even after Calagasta 500 came, or Calagasta 100 came, for that first 500 years, many beings got thought adjusters. Even Adam and Eve got thought adjusters when they defaulted. right? So it makes a big difference.
Hmm.
Okay, let's go on to the next. Would you take this one, Robin? When you got your charge now. Rodney?
Me?
I think it's Jane,
Please.
isn't it?
I think it's, I don't know, Gary?
I
Or,
think
You just read.
I read
Rodney read,
Well,
everybody
maybe
read
I'll-
except Jane.
Okay, Jane, you're up.
okay. The mindedness of the thought adjuster is like the mindedness of the universal Father.
No, that's the one we just read. Jane, it's the next one. Is it not showing on your screen?
Oh, yes, it is showing, but
I read point 5.2.
We already adjusted that.
The
Yeah.
one I see up is
No,
Since-
I didn't go over this one. So if we read it, I didn't go over it. Okay.
okay.
Because it says here that the adjusters can work, love, and they have powers of selfhood which are commensurate with the mind itself. So we read that you read this, Rodney. I got sidetracked with talking. That's what it was. So they're able to communicate with each other. I already went over that. Okay, but not as virgins. They have to be non-virgin adjusters. And they must be minded in some manner or else it could never be personalized. Why is that?
You gotta have a mind to have
Nothing-
the ability to have a choice.
That's right. They, it would be if they didn't have mindedness, they didn't make decisions on their own, they wouldn't ever be able to interact with the personality, which is a gift from God the Father also, right? So they would have nothing to interact with. Let's go on. All right, now Jane, the mindedness.
okay. The mindedness of the thought adjuster is like the mindedness of the universal Father and the eternal Son. That which is ancestral to the mind of the conjoined actor.
Why would they say ancestral? Because God the Father and God the Son came first, right? The eternal
Good.
Son,
First.
God the Father. The conjoint actor was the third person of deity, so that would make the conjoint actor the ancestor of the universal Father and the eternal Son, right?
So, Roger,
Yeah.
From this short paragraph, what I'm getting from this is that it is up to us to do all the work through the circuits of the infinite spirit and the creative mother spirit,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Because that's why when we do fuse, then we can be in sync with the thought adjuster.
That's right. Because it says here the adjuster is like the mindedness of the universal Father and the eternal Son. So the mindedness of the thought adjuster is different than human beings, is it not? That's
Because
what it's telling us.
we work through the creative
Conjoint
mother
actor.
spirit.
That's right. That's right. So in essence, the conjoint actor is ancestral to us, right? So
Mhm.
our minds are like the conjoint actor, okay? So
Mhm.
you take it's interesting because you take the adjuster mindedness, which is like the universal Father and the eternal Son, and you add that mindedness to a human being, which is a part that is a mindedness of the conjoint actor. Because what we're in which circuit? We're in the universal mind circuit of the conjoint actor, right? Through the local universe mother. So, by having the mindedness of the universal Father and the mindedness of the eternal Son, when you add the conjoint actor's mindedness, which is our mindedness, what do you have?
Another Trinity.
Trinity.
I
Boy,
keep-
y'all are so brilliant. Man, y'all are so brilliant. I just can't stand it. You know? So when we fuse, we become minded as the Trinity. Does that make sense? You see why it's important to understand the Trinity? Okay? That's your little jewel for the night. You
That's
can go to
cool.
sleep thinking, I'm minded like this, right? Any way you look at it. And I think I'm going to stop there because we're actually pretty involved. Okay. It's going on a totally different direction here. So let's, I'm sorry, y'all, about all the all the problems of the computers and stuff. I still don't understand what happened. But this Macintosh went off on its own little trip today somewhere. I don't know where it went. We were coming along, so we'll see. I may have to go back to my regular Windows base until I get this worked out. Go back to the last room. Okay, let's have a little prayer and we'll quit for the night. Sweetie, would you like to close us in prayer?
Diane, you're muted.
You dear.
Ah! Father, Mother God, we thank you so much for this opportunity that you've given to us to together to um, to learn and to study and to ponder the lessons that we study and to build our spirit and strength and knowledge. And it is our gift, your gift to us that helps us to evolve and to gain um, awareness of our path in this wonderful universe that you've given to us, and the opportunity to live our lives here and to experience love and to experience knowledge. And this book is just we're so grateful for it. It's in your name, Jesus Christ, Michael, and Abaddon, we pray, give thanks, and amen.
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 I need to mention this while we're still live on Facebook for those who watch the video on too. But I'm seeing an orthopedic surgeon in the morning, so I have no idea what's going to come of this. I got to get this hip fixed. I can't walk. So I'm not sure whether they're going to try to do something shortly or if it'll be next week or what it'll be. So I don't know if I'll be here Sunday or not, please, at this point. If I'm able to sit up in this chair, I will be here Sunday morning. Wake up the store. Yeah, I got to get up the stairs to get here. So, should have seen me trying to do that today. But anyway, I don't know if I'll be here Sunday morning for sure or not. But I will send out a meeting notice after I find out tomorrow. Well, I'll send it out Saturday. If we'll have a meeting on Sunday at 9 o'clock on Sunday, and if we can, I'll be. But if we can't, I will have to let y'all know when we get back up here to have the next meeting. Okay. I'm hoping this will be something simple they can just go in and fix and not have to have a hip replacement just to repair it. So if that's the case, I'll be here Sunday and Tuesday. So I just have to see. Y'all pray for me. I need some extra prayers on this one. I like the idea of living in a wheelchair. Anyway, it is what it is. Get what we get. No, we get one body. We got to do the best we can with it. So that's just all there is to it. Gary can relate to that.
Roger, it's hard to understand. When you switched over,
Oh, did it? Oh, okay. Couldn't
Your other
understand what I'm
microphone is
saying.
much better.
Okay, well, I'll have to work
So I
on
don't
everything.
think he heard you.
Huh?
So I don't think Gary heard you.
Pardon me? Oh, okay. Well, I'll send out an email to everybody Saturday, that y'all know we're having a meeting. Did you get that much of it, Gary?
I got part of it. It was somewhat garbled,
Okay.
but I understand.
Okay.
Okay, so
Well, I'll
you'll
send
let us
y'all.
know what's going on with you when you know.
I'll let you know when I know, right? And I'll post it on Facebook too, so that those that watch us on Facebook won't be sitting out there waiting. So, if we're gonna have a meeting.
Yeah, we didn't get Julius today.
Yeah,
That
I
was
sent
me.
him an email and I just found he sent me an email.
Did he?
Yeah,
Okay, well, good. We'll send him another email telling him I'll let him know. I'll let him meeting on Sunday. So as soon as I find out. All right. Okay, let me